Welcome back to MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic. It is Sunday Fun Day here at MTG Burgeoning, and in today's video we are going to add another 15 cards to our Changeling Pool as we move one step closer to completing our Morophon the Boundless EDH Shapeshifter Changeling Tribal deck. What's up, MTG That is the MTG Burgeoning community. Here we are with another Sunday Fun Day video. And in today's video, we are going to add 15 more cards to our Changeling Pool. What is our Changeling Pool? Well, if you missed that and any of the other previous videos in this deck building series, you can click on links in the description below and bring you right up to speed. Basically, in this deck, we have Morophon as our commander, we have our land base, and the rest of our deck, which comprises 85 total cards. The other 15 cards will come out randomly from our Changeling Pool, thereby creating a different experience with the Shapeshifter Changeling deck each time we sit down to play with it. So before we add the next 15, let's take a look at the 60 cards we've already added to this Changeling Pool. Didgeridoo, Skemfar Avenger, Full Moon's Rise, Scarblade Elite, Kithkin Mourncaller, Risen Reef, Death Baron, Ferris Band Warchief, Daru Warchief, Sachi, Daughter of Sashiro, Kazul Warlord, Regisar Alpha, Biogenic Ooze, Godo Bandit Warlord, Sashiro the Anointed, Pack Leader, Ayula Queen Among Bears, Bishop of Wings, Drog Skull Captain, Yuriko the Tiger Shadow, Captivating Vampire, Goblin Chieftain, Ora Skyclave Hierophant, Sea Hunter, Calamity Bearer, Timber Protector, Docent of Perfection, which transforms into the final iteration, Marrow-Gnawer, Tulsimer Friend to Wolves, Utvara Hellkite, Soulcatcher Airy, Lord of the Unreal, Wirewood Savage, Scion of Una, General Kudro of Drannith, Balthor the Stout, Wing Splicer, Rot Widow Pack, Kavu Monarch, Synapse Sliver, Zarethsan the Trickster, Kataran Enforcer, Giltleaf Archdruid, Abishon Cephalid Emperor, Reaper King, Magda Brazen Outlaw, Galia of the Endless Dance, Mir Reservoir, Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator, Najila the Blade Blossom, Lyn Civi, Defiant Hero, Elvish Archdruid, Blood Speaker, Atla Palani, Nest Tender, Emil the Blessed, Great Bow Doyen, Riptide Shapeshifter, Regal Caracal, Korvath Brightflame, and Unish Cryosphinx Sovereign. Each one of these 60 cards in the Changeling Pool are representative of one of Magic's tribes. There may be some incidental overlap that we can consider to be a bonus, where one of these cards, serves multiple tribes, but each one of these 60 caters to one specific tribe in Magic the Gathering. And the next 15 that are going to enter into the Changeling Pool, they're going to do the exact same thing. So let's get started with the Wall of Mulch. 1 in green for a 0/4 defender. This card is the wall representative in our Changeling Pool. We're going to tap a green, we're going to sacrifice a wall, and we're going to draw a card. I bet you didn't think to see a wall entering into the Changeling Pool, now did you, MTG? Keeping you on the toes. All right, next up, shifting from mana value of 2 to mana value of 3, we have the Master Trinketeer. So this is an example of one of those cards where I was saying just a moment ago how one of the representatives in the Changeling Pool could service multiple tribes. In this specific instance, Master Trinketeer is the servo and the Thopter representatives, but we're going to slim that down one way or another when we can find one to be serviced just for servos or just for Thopters. So Master Trinketeer is 2 and a white for a 3/2. It acts as a lord for servos and Thopters, giving them each +1/+1. And of course we can tap 3 and a white to create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. For all intents and purposes, this will most likely end up being our servo representative as we search for a suitable Thopter one in the future. That is card number 2. Went from a wall to a servo with the bonus of Thopter. Next up, and staying on task, on cue, on trend, well, I don't know, you can pick any one or all of the above. This is another example of a creature card that serves multiple tribes but was selected to be a representative of just one. And that's going to be Kahira the Orphan Guard. It's a 3/2 cat beast for 1, and any combination of 2 Selesnyan hybrid mana. It has the companion mechanic, but we're not utilizing it for this deck. It also has vigilance, and is a lord that reads each other creature we control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. So far, the previous 62 cards included into our Changeling Pool, we already have a cat representative, we already have an elemental representative, a dinosaur representative, and a beast. So you guessed it, folks, Kahira the Orphan Guard is the Nightmare representative in our Changeling Pool, giving nightmares we control +1/+1 and vigilance. Next up, staying with a mana value of 3, we have Slimefoot the Stowaway. 1 black and a green for a 2/3 fungus. Whenever a sapling we control dies, Slimefoot deals 1 damage to each opponent and we gain 1 life. We can also tap 4 mana to create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. Slimefoot, in all his legendary uncommon goodness from Dominaria, is the sapling representative in our Changeling Pool. All right, as we mark the 1/3 of the way of this 15-card subset, we increase our mana value to 4, and we show the Midnight Entourage, 2 and 2 black from Aether Revolt. This Aetherborn rogue is a 3/3 that gives other Aetherborn we control +1/+1. Whenever a Midnight Entourage or another Aetherborn we control dies, we draw a card and lose 1 life. Midnight Entourage is the Aetherborn representative in our Changeling Pool. And I bet you didn't even know that Aetherborn was a creature type, because I sure didn't. When I came across that guy, I'm like, oh, that's going to be perfect. Let's slap him into the Changeling Pool. All right, card number 6, and we're going back nearly 20 years for this bad boy. A Togatog for a white, a blue, a black, a red, and a green. We have a 5/5 Atog legend that reads, sacrifice an Atog. A Togatog gets +X/+X till end of turn, where X is the sacrificed Atog's power. And as you've put it together, a Togatog is the Atog representative in our Changeling Pool. And of course, since all of our shapeshifters have Changeling, they are also Atogs. So we can sacrifice them to a Togatog and boost his power toughness temporarily with every shapeshifter with Changeling we have. A Togatog is the Atog representative in our Changeling Pool. All right, card number 7. As we hit the near halfway point of this video, we are showing Crested Sunmare, 3 and 2 white for a 5/5 horse, other horses we control have indestructible. At the beginning of each end step, if we gained life this turn, we create a 5/5 white horse creature token. The Crested Sunmare, a mythic rare from Hour of Devastation, is going to be the horse representative in our Changeling Pool, giving all of our other shapeshifters with Changeling indestructible. Next up, card number 8, going back to the time of Cold Snap, we have Auroch's Herd, 5 and a green for a 4/4 trampling Auroch. When this ETBs, we search our library for an Auroch's card, reveal it, put it into our hand, and then shuffle our library. So this acts as a shapeshifter with Changeling Tutor, or if we're fortunate enough to have the Maskwood Nexus in play, this reads, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. As an additional bonus, whenever the Auroch's Herd attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking Aurochs. And with it having trample, there's a little bit of evasion that's included into this creature that can make him a pretty formidable threat if we have a bunch of other creatures also attacking that are also Aurochs. Since this is a shapeshifter with Changeling deck, we most certainly will. This card is the Aurochs representative in our Changeling Pool. Next up, as we hit number 9, we're going to Ravnica Allegiance for Rakdos the Showstopper. 4 black and a red, we have a 6/6 legendary demon with flying and trample. And when Rakdos the Showstopper ETBs, flip a coin for each creature that isn't a demon, isn't a devil, or isn't an imp. Destroy each creature whose coin comes up tails. Now, this is not a flat board wipe by any means. However, this is a nice way to clear out some creatures of our opponents, and most likely we won't have to worry about affecting any of our creatures on our side, because Rakdos says demon, devil, or imp. As we already have a demon representative in the Changeling Pool, Rakdos will most likely be our imp representative with the side of devil, because I think that we can find a devil representative sometime down the road. As our shapeshifters with Changeling are all, of course, demons, devils, and imps, they will be immune to Rakdos the Showstopper's ETB coin flip trigger. The creatures that our opponents control, not so much. So let's shine up that coin and let's hope for a lot of tails. Rakdos the Showstopper is card number 9 in this Changeling Pool. In this 15-card Changeling deepening of the pool. All right, moving forward very quickly, glossing right over that without any kind of editing. Number 10, we are going with another mythic. This one is Harmonious Archon, 4 and 2 white for a 4/5 flying Archon. Non-Archon creatures Non-Archon creatures have base power and toughness 3/3. When Harmonious Archon ETBs, we create 2 1/1 human creature tokens. So this creature is our Archon representative in our Changeling Pool. And it will have a very, very strong effect because, let's be honest, Archon is not an exceedingly popular creature type in any stretch of the imagination. So this comes down and has the ability to make our opponent's creatures bigger. If someone's running a token deck, this may not be the best creature to put into play, because all of their tokens that are not Archons, well, they're going to get buffed up to 3/3. However, for those big, nasty creatures that are out there on the battlefield, their power toughness will shrink to 3/3 if they're not Archon creatures. Additionally, when this ETBs, we put into play 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. They're not 1/1, they are 3/3. So for 4 and 2 white, just from the math behind it, we're putting out 10 power and 11 toughness. This creature is pretty awesome, and in our Shapeshifter with Changeling deck, it's not going to affect the power toughness of our creatures, because again, our Shapeshifters with Changeling are also Archons. So Harmonious Archon will be the Archon representative in our Changeling Pool. All right, card number 11, we're down to our last 5, and that's going to be 1 copy of Serpent of Yawning Depths. 4 and 2 blue for a 6/6 enchantment creature serpent. Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents we control can't be blocked except by Krakens, Leviathans, Octopi, and Serpents. So this kind of gives our entire squad unblockable as long as our opponents aren't playing with one of the less popular tribes in Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents. So we can pick one of any of these to be the representative in our Changeling pool. We'll leave that one up to debate for the MTG Burgeoning community. All right, we're moving to card number 12, and we're going back to another mythic rare, and this one is Hythonia the Cruel. 4 and 2 black. We have a legendary Gorgon, 4/6 with Death Touch. It also has the Monstrosity mechanic, which reads, if we tap 6 and 2 black, we put 3+1/+1 counters on Hythonia, and she becomes monstrous. Makes her a 7/9. And when we activate that ability, we destroy all non-Gorgon creatures. And I can't imagine that any of our opponents are going to have any Gorgon creatures under their control. But guess what? Our shapeshifters have Changeling, which means all of them are Gorgons. Hythonia the Cruel is the Gorgon representative in our Changeling pool. All right, we're down to our last 3 representatives here. And the next one is Skeletal Vampire. 4 and 2 black for a 3/3 flying vampire skeleton. When it ETBs, we create 2 1/1 black bat creature tokens with flying. Tap 3 and 2 black, sacrifice a bat, create 2 more 1/1 black bat creature tokens with flying. We can sacrifice a bat to regenerate Skeletal Vampire. This vampire will allow us to do a lot of shenanigans with respect to creating tokens and allowing him to get regenerated, which will be great for a blocker because he flies, so it should be able to block most, if not all, creatures that come our way. Skeletal Vampire is the bat representative in our Changeling pool. 2 more to go, and the next one is number 14, Patron of the Moon. 5 and 2 blue for a legendary spirit. It has the Moonfolk Offering mechanic, which reads, we may play this card anytime we can play an instant by sacrificing a Moonfolk and paying the difference in mana costs between this and the sacrificed Moonfolk. Mana cost includes color. So the Patron of the Moon is a 5/4 flyer with a very interesting mechanic. By tapping 1, and we can put up to 2 land cards from our hand into play tapped. This will help us with an element that seems to be missing from our deck thus far, and that's ramp. And that's going to be something that we'll need to revisit once we complete our Changeling pool. So as you can see, Patron of the Moon is going to be the Moonfolk representative in this Changeling pool. We can sacrifice one of our big old beefy changelings or one of our big old beefy shapeshifter with changelings that are out there, and then we can cast Patron of the Moon at instant speed by paying the difference in mana cost. Then we can start to tap 1 and put some land cards from our hand into play tapped, ramping up. This is going to be a sneaky good card, and I was pretty happy to come across this during the research for the Changeling pool. And that will be number 14, and it will be the Moonfolk representative in our Changeling pool. All right, for this video, this is card number 15 and entrant number 75 overall into our Changeling pool, and it can be none other than AOZ, Avenger of Zendikar. 5 and 2 green for a 5/5 elemental, and when it ETBs, we create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land we control. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, of course he has the landfall mechanic, we may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature we control. Again, our shapeshifters with Changeling are also plants. So the Avenger of Zendikar reads, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control, as long as we have shapeshifters with Changeling out there, or if we have the Maskwood Nexus, which will allow a +1/+1 counter to go on every single creature that's out there, regardless of whether it's a true shapeshifter with Changeling or it's receiving that ability from Maskwood Nexus. Avenger of Zendikar is the plant representative in our Changeling pool. And there you have it, folks. 15 more cards to add to our Changeling pool, bringing the total up to 75. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic.